Yeter mi son? Acazına nasıl olsun?
Hello, good afternoon to everybody. Please be online. The counselor will join soon. Let us wait for another few minutes.
We are not hearing anything.
I've been able to join now. Yeah. So hello students, there was some wrong Google Meet code that was put in. So that is the reason there was slight delay. In fact, I had joined the link 5 minutes, 10 minutes before the class, and I thought that I'm the only one in the class. And thankfully, the required thing was done at the right time, and I was told that the link, somebody's trying to present here something. Please stop this. Matama Rebecca. Please stop sharing here.
Labeka Matama, please stop that.
Yeah, thank you. Please stop. Matama Rebecca, am I audible? Good. So, welcome back. Let me see your faces, how bright they're looking. I can see smile on your face, little shyness, and yeah, it's great to see you back. And all right. So how is the climate at your place? Is it very hot at this time of the year? It's pleasant in India.
For Malawi, it is raining. We are in our rainy season.
Ah, it's raining. Okay. Ibrahim? Muhammad Ibrahim.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, in Nigeria, in where I am in Nigeria, it's actually we are just slightly moving to the summer season. We're just like slightly, yeah, it's actually cold here. It's actually cool so far. But we are slightly moving to the summer season.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Uganda and it's very hot as I speak.
Okay.
Uganda is so hot at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
How is there in Uganda?
Uganda is okay, but I say it is very hot. It's shiny.
Okay. Davis wants to share something. Yes, Davis, I can see you in police uniform. Are you into police? Please switch off.
Good morning, madam.
Hello?
Davis?
Yes, in Malawi, it's 20 minutes to 12. It's in the morning. It's good, no rays, sunny. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Rehman, Namuju, you want to say something? You're looking very stressed. Why?
Yes, madam.
That's something. That's actually, it's really something.
Actually, I'm not stressed. Good morning, everyone. I'm in Uganda and it's sunny, not so hot where I am right now, but it's okay for now. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else wants to share the kind of climate they're experiencing? Your fellow colleagues here. Stephen, you want to say something? Stephen Chunga, you want to say something?
Here I'm in Malawi.
Malawi, okay.
Here in Malawi, the weather is quite cool, despite that it's rainy season. But it's sunny today, and we are expecting the rains maybe in the afternoon, but it's still morning. Sure.
Great. Buba. Ahmed Buba.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Tell me.
Morning, how are you?
I'm doing well, Buba. Thank you.
Okay.
Tell us how you're feeling.
Thank you. Good morning now. I'm feeling fine. I'm from Nigerians.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, we can see more hands. More people want to come in and share. Bashir. Let us pick up students who haven't spoken before. Aminu Bashir. Tell us, share something. Can we see you on screen?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. About the job. My name is Aminu Bashir from. Good morning, everyone. Here in the northern. Yes, the way.
Okay. Rashidat. Rashidat wants to express something. Rashidat, you wish to say something? Share with us.
Ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, dear.
Yeah, good morning. How are you doing, ma'am?
How are you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
How was
Thank
it?
you. Yes, I'm in Nigeria, and my weather here is somehow warm. It's morning, but it's warm. It's not as cold as it should be. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, John. John wants to say something. Hello, John. You were not there yesterday. Hello, John. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Joanna.
Good afternoon, John.
Yeah, I'm from Malawi, Blantyre to be precise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the weather's just changed. We're expecting the rains anytime from now.
Uh-huh. Mm.
Yeah.
You like this particular kind of climate?
Yeah, we do. I do. Very much I do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sydney wants to say something? Sydney, Maduka?
Yeah, hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Sydney Maduka here in Malawi. Yeah, the weather here is just very hot. It's very sunny outside there.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Very sunny. All right.
Sure.
All right. I think we've taken responses almost from everyone. Kendairo Kaima is still raising the hand. Kendairo Kaima? Can I see you anywhere? Want to say something? Cliff? Yes, Cliff?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Dismas, Amandi, Dismas, and Cliff.
Yes, I'm from Uganda. Yeah, everything is cool. Just waiting to start.
Everything is cool. Okay. Cool meaning what? It's pleasant, it's windy, it's sunny, rainy. What exactly that means for you?
The sun is not so much the way it used to be. At least it has reduced a bit, and
Very
everything
harsh.
is okay.
Great. So we are holding classes at the very right time of weather conditions, right? Pleasant weather conditions. All right. Cliff wants to say something? Not audible. No, Cliff doesn't want to say something. He's just raising his hand. Doesn't want to say anything. Francis. Francis, want to say something? Okay. So great to hear. Almost, I mean, it's so good that this class appears to be so participative and so interactive, because essentially this is what we are here for. The best way to learn a language is to interact in that language, to share in that language as much as possible. I think that builds up the confidence. Confidence is the most important thing. So when you become confident, then obviously, you're able to use that language in all kind of situations, with perfection, with expertise. All right. Now, you can put down your hands, otherwise it appears as if, students want to speak and I'm not allowing them. Just give them that space. If you don't want to say anything, just put down your hands. Grace, Cliff, and Muhammad Ibrahim. They've raised the hands. Okay, so this class is so lively. Thanks for this great class. Thank you so much. All right, so now what I want to bring forth here is one aspect is that these are essentially counseling classes. All right, Anderson, are you in the class or are you feeling sleepy? You're in the class. Very good. Okay, so these are basically the counseling classes. So what does that mean? It means that the material, okay, which needs to be referred to by you students has already, we assume that it is with you. We are also assuming that you've read quite a bit of it, okay? And the counseling classes are here to counsel you, to advise you how to approach your booklets, your blogs, okay? And while you're doing that, in case if you figure out any problems regarding the content, regarding the questions, activities, exercises, then these counselors like me are here to help you. Okay? They are not essentially to be in a lecture mode. Okay? These are counseling classes. If you are facing any problems in the blogs, then you can, so you have to read. So the primary work that has to be done is that once you get hold of the blogs, you have to keep reading the blogs. And I tell you, they are marvelous. Marvelous study material it is there. If you start reading the blogs, the 4 blogs that we discussed yesterday, that are a part of this particular BEGLA135, they are written in a marvelous mode. The very writing is in such an interactive mode that it's going to engage you. Even if you are not interested, and you are slightly, very not that much into it, but once you start reading it, it's going to engage you because the writing, the way it is written, it's very, very interactive. Okay. So the first thing is that you have to get hold of the study material. Yesterday, I told you that you have to access the IGNOU for the soft copy of the study material. Did you do that, students? Did you access the copy? Please remember.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, we did.
So I want to know the ones who did not access the copy. Felicia says no. That is not all right at all. Okay, that is not right. The first thing, the primary thing that has to be done is that when I take counseling sessions with you, I am assuming that you've already started it, okay, and you have some questions, queries relating with different units and different blocks. Okay, and that is what precisely we are going to solve here. Your problems, your queries, advice, as in, if you're not understanding anything, how to go about it. So we will not be schooling you at all. Okay, we will not be actually delivering lectures because these are not free independent lectures. So you might be thinking that since these are English proficiency classes, please put your microphones on mute. Cliff, put your microphone on. Thank you. So what I'm trying to make clear is that these are the classes okay? And these classes are counseling classes. We will be counseling you, advising you on how to go through the blogs, on addressing your problems if you face while going through the blogs, okay? And the entire thing will be limited to the syllabus which is prescribed for it. Okay? So these counseling will be specifically dedicated to the study material. These are not independent English fluency classes. That, okay, these are 6 sessions, okay, and I have the freedom to talk about anything, anywhere from, okay. These are IGNOU counseling classes. We will be circumscribing ourselves, you know, to whatever is there given in the syllabus, okay. And you, as students, you have to read the blocks that is there, that is compulsorily, you know, required if you want to make use of the counseling sessions, okay. They are there to advise you on your problems, so you need to have problems for that. And when do you have problems? You have problems if you go through the blocks, okay. So you have to go through the blocks and come to the class prepared with your problems, with suggestions, with anything that you're not understanding. Then we as counselors are ready to help you. But you have to, you know, you have to go through the blocks first and find out where the problem is. And as I said, the content is very nicely placed, you know, it is very interactive. And once you start doing it, you will start learning so many things on your own. And if you face any problems, start practicing face any problems, then we are here for the counseling sessions. That is precisely the main reason, or the, you know, that's the main thing for the counseling sessions, that we are here to advise and guide you, okay. But as someone, you know, as a mentor to you, I've decided that, you know, I will not just simply be advising you on your problems, because sometimes students are not able to read enough and gather enough problems, you know. So I will take you through all the blocks. All right. Yesterday, I discussed the learning outcomes and the what are the blocks and why one should is going for all this, some primary things regarding it. Today, I'll be introducing you to the different units of all the blocks. Okay, how it is, so that when you pick up the blocks, you can immediately, you know, sit and study. Okay, so today we'll go through all the blocks and all the units, what all is there. And from tomorrow onwards, we'll be left with 4 sessions. And in each of the session, I will take one block in for 2 hours. Okay, one block has 4 units. By and large, there are 4 units, and each unit I would give almost half an hour to each unit. Okay, so that's how it is. So today we'll go through all the blocks and the units that it has, okay, so that I can rightly place you and you can have the right sense of where actually you are, what this particular course looks like, what can you gain from it, what are the areas wherein you would want to work more. Okay, so today we'll go through all the blocks, all the units, and tomorrow onwards, I'll pick up one block at a time. And one block has 4 units and we have 2 hours. So fair enough, we can give half an hour to each unit. We can cover 4 units then. Okay, so accordingly, you must also, you know, like for tomorrow's class, you go through block 1, which is greetings and goodbye. You have the soft material with you, and since it has 4 units, so go through the units and come up with the problems in tomorrow's class. I will go through the entire block that's there. So for example, for half an hour, I will go with the first unit. And if you have any problems, we will take unit-wise problems so that everything doesn't get messed up in the end. Okay. So anyway, we'll start with the PPTs where we had stopped last time.
Hello, ma. Good morning.
Can you see the PPT?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Yes,
I see.
yes, ma. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma, we can see it.
So yesterday, yeah.
Yes,
So
now we are seeing.
yesterday, yesterday we saw that there are these 4 blocks, and block number 1 is greetings and goodbye. Block number 2 will have the world around us. Block number 3 is titled as media and entertainment, and block 4 has been titled as the burning issues. And the course coordinators have taken care that almost all the things that concerns oneself in living a daily life, all the small vignettes to big events, they are covered up within this block, and you're able to have different kind of experiences, as far as how to express how the daily events could be expressed, through different kind of text, okay, through different kind of skills, right? So this is how the title of the block looks like. Now we come to block 1 here, which is greetings and goodbyes. Now here we can see that there are 4 units in this particular block. Unit 1, as the title itself is very self-explanatory, that it talks about introductions and small talks, and valedictory things. So unit 1 has been titled as starting and ending conversations. Okay. Unit 2 has been titled as social small talk. Unit 3 has been titled as feelings. Unit 4 has been titled as non-verbal communication or the body language. Okay, so that's how the 4 units have been made out to be. Now, in tomorrow's class, it's going to be of 2 hours, and we are going to deal with this block 1 completely in all aspects, and half an hour will be devoted to each unit, and the problems or whatever your queries are relating with the unit will be taken up within that half an hour itself. Okay, then we'll be moving on to unit 2, social small talk. Again, we'll be discussing it for half an hour. Okay, everything around it, and your problems thereby. And when we come to unit 3, again, the same similar, we'll be discussing and we'll be taking up the problems at the end of the half an hour. And then unit 4 likewise. Now this block 1, greetings and goodbye. Obviously, when you are in a social group, because like I have interacted with you, most of you interact quite well, I must say that, and I don't think so that you actually are tongue tied, when it comes to social spaces. For example, when you meet your friend, when you meet your neighbor, when you meet someone in a party, so exactly how to exchange pleasantries with each other, and how to do how whenever there's a valedictory, and how to go about doing that. So most of you, not that I've heard everybody, but most of you I can see would be comfortable doing it, but polishing on that, improving, enhancing, is something that I guess most of you are looking forward to when it comes to reading the content material, right? So let us see how much this is going to help you. So, but you also need to read it very religiously, and you should also develop a knack of archiving or excavating what you essentially feel suits you. Okay, not everything you need, but whatever you need, you should also know how can I take it. So, but that can only happen if you read the blocks very nicely, very religiously, very sincerely. Okay. So now, but like when you do conversations, so there are, I guess, there is a verbal aspect to it, there is a non-verbal aspect to it. Verbal and non-verbal aspects. Do you understand what is verbal and non-verbal? What is verbal communication? What is a non-verbal communication? So this is the first entry into
verbal communication.
You can raise your hands. Rashidat wants to say something. Rashida, please go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am. I think verbal communication means a kind of oral communication where you speak up, like speaking from one person to another. While non-verbal communication is trying to communicate through signals, signs, and the like. Thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you very properly, Rashidat. I could only hear that it's oral communication. That's what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it just the oral communication? Anybody else would want to come in and add to it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please, no disturbance, switch off your Abdul Salam.
Abdul Salam, you can mute your mic and
Mute
your
your
video.
mic, mute your mic.
Okay, sorry.
Just be careful. Okay. So, verbal would mean what? Stephen wants to say something?
Okay.
I wanted to say verbal communication, that is where you talk to each other, you interact using voice, and at the same time, you let your friend understand you verbally. That is, you speak using words without using signals. But other communications, that's where you can use signal, or you can use maybe by writing, or you can also use electronic gadgets, but verbal, that is a one-on-one talk. Thank you.
Okay. So, okay, I would take one or two more responses before I come in. We can, Mohammed Ibrahim, you wants to say something, Mohammed?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Verbal communication is a kind of conversing, is a situation where you communicate or converse with a person orally, where you communicate with him and understand you, while the other part of communication is a kind of communication where you communicate with someone either in a written gesture or a sign that is not orally speaking to that person. Thank you.
Francis?
Thank you, ma. I have something to add.
It's Francis. Hello, man.
Hello, ma.
Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
From me, I believe that verbal communication is the communication which uses a words or a writing. On the other hand, the non-verbal communication is the communication that use signs like gestures, facial expressions, and even the body movement itself. Thank you.
Okay. Are you reading from somewhere?
Ma, I have something to say.
Please say only if you have something to add.
Yes, I have something to add. Sorry.
Okay. Go ahead then.
Today I am late. I'm very sorry for that. In my own understanding about verbal communication, it's a communication between two or more persons by using voice and from each other. And that is all.
Not very clear. I mean, the audio is not very clear. What do you just write in the chat box so that I make out what you want to say? Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So, see the verbal communication and non-verbal communication. Communication, as we understand, is a lifeline. Most of the communication experts go to the extent of saying that communication is the blood. Like you have the blood in the body, okay, so it has the same similar function when it comes to society, the social beings. So, and it has two different kind of aspects to it. One is verbal, the other is a non-verbal. And as we understand that most of the communication that happens, we understand that it is through the oral medium. Okay, but it is important to state that 90% of the communication that happens, it is without the words. Now, more than 90% of communication happening around us is without words. Are you aware of that?
It's news to me.
So that means what? The non-verbal communication is so important that it cannot be ignored. Now at your place, somebody was saying it's windy. Somebody was saying it's rainy. Somebody was saying it's sunny. Was it a kind of language that you could hear? Were there some voices coming? Yes, it's important. It's important to hear those voices. It's important to understand all that which has not been articulated through words, through the medium of given letters. So communication is that kind of an holistic term wherein there is so much to understand, so much to feel, so much to convey, with or without words. So if you understand communication completely, then you will be able to understand, that whenever you're communicating, in social spaces, even with yourself for that matter, what are the aspects that need to be taken care of? Okay, so communication is not a superficial concept, that you know English, or your African language, you go and you just speak to your friend. Communication is not that superficial and mechanical business. Communication is life. Some people impress you just by their very presence. Isn't it? Isn't communication a mystery, And precisely, you join the classes thinking that, oh, you want to become a communication expert by going through the blogs, by listening to the counseling sessions. Unless and until we understand communication in and out, unless and until we understand that communication is about words, that communication is about written medium, but communication is even more. Communication is the kind of reflection of a personality that we give to the other person when we meet the other person. And that precisely is the 90% of the impact that you will be making. So the words, of course, they are important, but what is important is what is not said, what you are conveying, what you're communicating without the language of the words. You look at a person, for example, it's a business deal, or for that matter, any social small talk that you're a part of, You meet friends. Some people, they impress you immediately. And some people, they keep blabbering, for hours, and still you say no. What is that? What is that thing, that doesn't convince you about the communication of that person? So communication is not just about the mechanical conveying of the data in the form of alphabets, in the form of letters. It's not just mechanical, There is something, which gives life to those words. What is that life? That you have to discover, that you have to explore, and that is your work. That is your hard work. That is your work, as in you need to understand on your own that what kind of personality you have, what kind of personality the other person has. There is no mathematical calculation to that. So communication is that deeper concept wherein, just excuse me, my class is going on.
Hello guys, I am late. Please, can someone send the previous lesson for us in the WhatsApp group, please, if possible? Thank you.
Abdul Salam, please, you can just send the person in the.
Anything? Any problem? You can see the PPT, right? Can you see the PPT?
No.
No?
No, ma.
Yeah, not.
Yeah.
Huh? You cannot see the PPT?
You only share. You only sharing the meeting.
You are sharing your
We can
desktop.
see it.
You
You're sharing your screen, but
You
not.
share the meeting screen. No, not the PPT.
Can you see now?
Yes.
Yeah, ma. But Zoom is please.
We can.
Sorry?
We are able to see it, please.
You can see it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can. We can.
Okay, great. Okay, so please, somebody just mute your microphone. Thank you. Yeah. So what I was saying that you need to find for yourself as in, what your personality is, what are the points you need to work on, and also you need to be very sensitive about, very conscious about rather, about your surroundings so that you can also know the personality of the other person. So that would make the communication click. So all these things are something that you need to feel for yourself. I mean, just going about a block or something might give you mechanical strength about the different aspects of a particular language. But when it comes to the non-verbal aspect, then I think, that is something that you need to work on your own, right? So, yes, so we were talking about the verbal communication and the non-verbal communication. So the verbal communication is communication that is not just about the oral part. Verbal also includes written part also. Verbal meaning of words. So those words can be spoken also. Those words can be written also. So verbal, it can be oral verbal communication or it can be written verbal communication, right? And the non-verbal is which is without the words, which is through the body. So we call it a body language. Okay. So, and unit 4 precisely in this particular block deals with it. So all these aspects, they have been dealt with in your block in terms of language skills of reading, writing, speaking, and listening. You can see the slide now, na?
No, ma.
Yes, now we can see it.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So, so all these aspects.
Yes.
Can you switch off, mute your microphones? Thank you. So therefore, communication is more about conversation. It is about smiles, about gestures, and the way we position our body, and so on. Okay. So it is about the body language. And please mute your mic.
Slide is not moving.
Huh?
Slide is not moving.
You're not able to see my slides?
We are seeing block 1, greeting and goodbye.
So block 1 is going on. Okay. Right now, block 1 is going on. Yeah. So now in these blocks, so we have a warm-up section, which is there, which help you to lead to the unit. And there is a section in each unit on one of the 2 aspects of grammar also, which is mostly derived from the reading activity. And to enable you to speak accurately, we have included a section of pronunciation also. Okay. And the answers, they are given at the end of each unit. And we suggest you that you attempt each activity before you turn to the answers. Okay. So now in this particular block, greetings and goodbyes, you have the first unit as starting and ending conversations. Now our objective in this particular unit is to make you comfortable in beginning and ending conversations appropriately, how to do that, and also that you have a better understanding of the etiquettes. Okay, better understanding of the etiquettes to be followed and expressions to be used. So you will have a comprehension on etiquettes, and then questions and answers will be following, and we'll be doing that in tomorrow's class. So better read the comprehension on etiquette, because I'll be asking you questions and answers, and also true, false, and maybe some difficult words. I would want you to read the comprehension on etiquettes, and I want to know the difficult words while you go through, whether you are looking up the dictionary or not. Okay, when difficult words come, so it is not just that you would find out the meaning by the given context, but it is also important to look up the dictionary for the exact meaning, right? And also, the objective of this particular unit is to monitor your speech more critically. And for doing that, we have grammar exercises, we have vocabulary exercises. Okay, and so why this particular unit has been set? Because you know, we found that people, they feel shy, you know, and they never open a dialogue with strangers. And at a party also, sometimes you never introduce your friends, you know, because to your family and colleagues, because you're shy, you don't know how to actually do that. You feel nervous, and sometimes you feel confused also. Okay, and also sometimes you feel nervous with when you're left with unfamiliar people also. So how to overcome all that social handicap, you can say, you know, when it comes to introducing people. And we've seen that many people, they often leave parties, you know, unnoticed, without even thanking the host, because they are so nervous about their lack of language skills in not doing that. Okay, and as I said, you know, communication is not just about the verbal aspect, it is also about the non-verbal aspect. So both the things have to be taken into consideration. Okay, so the thing which I'm trying to say here is that it doesn't matter much, you know, if you're not able to articulate very, very appropriately. At least you can have the good body language, because that is also part of communication. And slowly and steadily, you can pick up the language skills, that is a verbal aspect also. So don't underestimate your non-verbal aspects. Okay, even if one feels nervous or shy, if you're there in a setup where the language which is being spoken is not according to your preference or your choice, so be it so. You have the strength of your non-verbal communication, for that matter. And okay, so that's what the unit 1 will try to address. And then we move on to the unit 2 in social small talk. In social small talk, again, our objective is to initiate in a social gathering, that you initiate a conversation and you sustain a conversation. We've seen some of our friends, they would just begin a conversation by saying, hello, how are you? Are you doing fine? And just they would initiate, but they do not know how to sustain it further, how to actually weave a conversation further. So that is where you need to put in your confidence, believe in yourself, and take off. And in this second unit, social small talk, not just that you would be able to, if you go through the unit as it is asked, you would be able to sustain a conversation, and then sometimes you pick topics, or avoid topics, depending upon the degree of intimacy with the interlocutor. So how to be confident in circumstances which are challenging, so that is other thing, that we'll be looking at. And also in the social small talk, you would evaluate, the impact of your own also and other people's small talk. Okay, so it's evaluation of your own personality as well. And in this unit also, we've tried to use language, we've tried to use expressions which are appropriate to the relationship with the interlocutors. Okay, so all these things, they have been taken due consideration, because we feel that that some people, you must have also heard your friend saying, or maybe you might also be saying at certain incident of time, that certain point of time, that I never indulge in small talk, and so because it's a waste of time. Some people, they might say that. And some people, they might say that this is socializing is the art of breaking, but socializing is the art of breaking the ice and making friends, so why not? Okay, so and because what we say and how we say is very important, because this reveals our personality, as we were just saying. So what you say is important, but also how you say, becomes all the more very important. Okay, so if you actually take it in a take it how it should be, a social small talk, then you would love chatting with your friends, it becomes a lot more fun, right? So we move on to unit 3 now, which is feeling. Now in this third unit, somebody wants to say something? Somebody wants to say something? Or should I move on?
Yes, ma, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Hello.
Please go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Hello, I have a question, ma.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Bashir?
my question is, ma, regarding the social and the language skills. You see, people are like, some are extrovert and some are introvert. Like, some people doesn't know how to express themselves. Like, they don't like talking much. While some people have, this is due to personalities. And it is not like someone is like bad in speaking English or something, but he, like I said, is introvert. Like he doesn't want to talk much. Is it not somewhat related to these skills, the language and the social skills?
Yeah, very. I think that's a very sensitive question. And this is a question that all of us find ourselves in at certain point of a life. You know, not apart from the your native tongue, apart from the native language that you speak. All of the language actually will corner you at some point of time. We were also growing up, English was not a mother tongue. In India, we are a multilingual country. Okay, not huh? So English proficiency in English had its own stages with us also. There were moments in life, like Bashir is asking, people who are introvert, what do they do in social setups? But I would like to say here is that Bashir, communication is about verbal aspects, it's about the language that you talk, but it is also about the non-verbal aspects. It's about the body language that you have. Body language is not contained by any language barrier. Okay? So that is personality development, that is confidence. And an understanding, Bashir, that not everybody knows everything. Not everybody knows everything. So if we understand this simple aspect,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, so not everybody understands everything, so be it so. So this is one aspect that I am not understanding, which I will understand, in due course of time. Why should it impact my personality? Why should it impact my personality development? Why should it impact my confidence? Cannot I believe the truth? Cannot I believe a sensible truth? Which is that this is something that I need to learn. Why should it impact my confidence? Whatever I know, howsoever I know, whatever way I'm able to express, I must do it. Because the quality of being introvert, is something that has nothing to do with the language barrier. I understand it as a personality flaw, Okay. So introvert is all right as far as it doesn't impact your confidence. But if you sincerely feel that you want to interact with your friends and there is something within you that's stopping you, I'm sorry, that's not the language, that your personality that's stopping you from interacting. I have seen people coming to India from Africa, and they are so comfortable despite not knowing the language. They're so social. So I think communication is more about personality building, personality development. It's more about your confidence that you reflect, And proficiency in language is something that's going to come in due course of time. The more you practice, the more proficient you become. Which can only happen if you practice. So whatever English that you have, you need to practice with that. You cannot have a moment in your learning graph, in your learning curve, where you would say, voila, here I am, all perfect, and I'm going to start now. Okay? So there is no epiphanic moment as such. It is a process that needs to be carried forward. Okay. So I hope I made it clear, Bashir.
Yes, ma. Thank you.
Yeah. Emily wants to say something. I can see a hand raised. Emily? Emily wants to say something, or should we move on? Let's move on, right? Emily hasn't spoken as yet, so I am interested actually what he wants to talk. And also Abdullah Fiz has raised a hand. Is it by mistake or he actually wants to say something? Because they haven't spoken before, so I would appreciate if you say
All
something.
right. Good morning, ma. Good day. My question is not really a question. Is about these slides that you have been presenting, the ones of the yesterday lecture and the one of today. Actually, in our group chat, our WhatsApp chat, we are discussing about having the slides. So it will be a kind of directive for us while going to the PDF. It means you
Do you have an unstable connection? Because your voice is breaking.
Abdullah,
okay.
please check your network.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. I was talking about the slides that you have been presenting. So if any way we can be having it personally so that we can be following up with it through all our readings. So I don't know if you have a provision for that, or we should have like 2 or 3 members of the group that should drop their emails so that you can directly forward it to them. Or if possible, you can have your own 2 email. Thank you,
Don't
ma'am.
worry about the slides. Okay? Slides, everything, I will mail the slides. Okay? But more important than the slide is interacting in the class. Interaction in the class. That's how you're going to learn the language. You're not going to learn the language through the slides. So more you interact with your fellow students through the class, through this platform, more you interact with me, greater confidence you would get, greater personality development would be there, and you would find yourself more proficient. Okay. Now, in the coming 4 lectures, while we go through the blocks, taking unit wise, we will interact more. It is all about interaction. It is all about getting the sense of confidence that you can sustain conversations in English in a methodical way. You have to go very methodical, that is there. Okay. All right. Emily, you want to say something? Okay, thank you, Abdullah Fiz. Emily, if you want to come in, then please come in, or we are going ahead. Your microphone is off. Emily, switch on the microphone. I can see your hand being raised. Okay, he's raised his hand down now. All right. So we move ahead. Now the unit 3. Unit 3, when you go through some poem, for example, okay, or you have some feelings like feelings of friendship, feelings of love. Do you have these kind of feelings?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, somebody is giggling and smiling. So you experience, your body experience these feelings of love and friendship.
I just hear that you are talking or you said love. That make me laugh.
Okay, so when you do that, for example, you want to befriend someone, okay, or you have feelings of love for someone. So what are the, Abdul Salam has such a cheery smile, So what I'm saying is that are you very careful of the words that you chose to convey your feelings? Or do you go wrong with the choice of the words and everything is like lost? If you want to present your friendship, if you want to convey your feelings to someone, you want to be very, very careful, right? So what is the choice of the words that should be there while you do so? So that is something that we've tried to put here. And also, for example, you have various kind of passages talking about love and friendship and being social sensitive and many other things. Okay, and so we've tried to put all that into this unit, and there are passages and comprehensions, here. Through which there are poetry stanzas given for comprehension. And also, like, sometimes you make oral requests to people in different settings. If you have to request a teacher, it would be different. Okay, you have to be careful about. If you want to make an oral request to your friend, it would be different. Okay, all these things would come under this unit. And then also we would look into different kind of words which convey positive feeling and negative feeling. Okay, positive feeling and negative feeling. And then also in this block, we would ask you to imagine something, and then we would ask you to write something. For example, I would ask you to pick out a very good photograph from your album, family album, and write something on it and speak on it. Share with us in the class. So that kind of descriptions. And then, for example, I would ask you, for example, there is some emergency situation in your locality. I would ask you to imagine a situation where there is an emergency and you have to suggest a course of action, talking about that. And then I would ask you to listen to certain situations. I'll just speak certain situations here. And then I would ask you that what are the associated feelings with those situations. Okay, so different kind of platforms will be provided wherein you would learn certain aspects related to feelings, while you carry out your day-to-day activities. So that is one thing that we would be addressing in this particular unit. And the last unit is the non-verbal communication, that is the body language. Now, as I said, non-verbal communication is as important as verbal communication in day-to-day interacting with people. The body language and the facial expressions, they speak a lot about you as a person. Okay, some people here also in class, like in the beginning I was saying, some are looking slightly stressed, which they were not, but they were conveying that. So it is important what your face conveys to the person, to the onlooker. So meaning that something needs to be done then, because you are conveying a different set of information which actually doesn't exist. Okay, sometimes you're happy, but your face looks sad. So these are small things that go a long way in setting up how you are. So be careful, as in you have to observe your face. Sometimes when you're angry, you are not that much angry, but your face conveys that you're very much angry. And then your friend says, my God, what has happened? Why you're so angry? Why are you so incensed? You say, no, I'm not. But the friend says, look at your face. It's almost going to blast. So therefore, it's important to know how you are reacting, how you are behaving, what is your face communicating to the other person. All these things are important, right? So our dress, our appearance, the way we sit or stand, the way we touch other people, our gestures, All these have something to say about us. So it is important to understand what our body language conveys about us so that we are conscious of it. And as I said, we could make some changes in it, not for others' benefit, but for our own benefit and for better interaction and communication. Okay. So in this particular unit, then you would learn what is body language. You would learn the importance of understanding body language in day-to-day life, and how different people convey things, not only through what they say, but also through the non-verbal communication. You would learn vocabulary related to non-verbal communication. And also here, we can ask you to write a description. And in grammar portion, you might be asked to join sentences so that there is a flow of ideas in your written communication. There would be a bit of role-playing exercise in this particular unit, and also something that might lead to develop your speaking and listening skills. So that's how this chart looks like. Okay. We move on to the block 2.
I can't see the chart.
You can see the PPT, right?
No.
You can't see the PPT?
We are seeing, ma.
It might be from him, but we all can see it here. It might be his network or something.
You can see the PPT,
Yes,
right?
ma'am, we can see it.
Okay, yeah. So now block 2 is titled as the world around us. Now in this block, unit 1 has been titled as family and friends. Unit 2 has been titled as describing daily events. Unit 3 has been titled as money matters. And unit 4 has been titled as public services. Okay, so that's how this particular unit looks like. Okay. Okay. Now, in this unit, in our daily lives, we have several needs and desires. Okay, we are confronted with both major and minor problems. We face grief and we face happiness. And in order to express all these things, you know, for example, we have to communicate in English. Okay. So through these 4 units, which I just mentioned, is in family and friends, describing daily events, you know, and the rest too, we as such, we cannot cover up all the aspects. I don't say that we've covered up all the aspects, but essentially the main aspects, you know, which we've kind of chosen arbitrarily, you know, 4 areas, and we've tried to give you vocabulary, grammar, speaking, listening, reading, writing skills, you know, okay, to engage you with the issues of the daily living. Now, in the first unit, that is family and friends, our aim or the objective is to develop in our learners, you know, the ability to read and comprehend a personal experience. Okay, could be any personal experience, could be your chat with your father, your conversation with your mother, for example, or your dear friend. Okay, and then make inferences from the text. Also, there would be exercises wherein a situation would be given and you would be asked to evaluate the situation and provide a personal opinion to it. Don't you think these are the only ways, these are the only kind of spaces wherein you have to use language, whether it's about conversing with your family member, your friend, or there is some social situation. So we've by and large tried to take care of all the aspects, wherein you need to use the communication aspect to it. Okay? And the other aim is to listen to children's experiences in the family. Very important, which generally is avoided, or what avoided is ignored. It's not considered important. And then use of certain punctuation marks, showing possession. Also, the grammar unit has 3 forms of adjectives, which we'll be dealing with in this particular unit. That is positive, comparative, superlative. Okay. And also we might ask you, we are asking you in these units how to write a paragraph describing a person. A person could be of your own personal choice. Your role model, your favorite politician, your favorite sports star. Okay. And we have, because why this particular aspect is introduced here of family and friends, because in the families, there is so much of talk about the generation gap. And there's so many issues. There are so many issues which over which you differ from your parents. Is it? Do you find problem of generation gap? Okay, let's discuss this topic a bit,
Okay.
Do you think that in Africa, the generation gap is a problem? In the family, in your own families, the younger children are not attended to that sensitively. They are not heard.
Of course, it's a very big issue that is happening, and a lot of advocates are advocating for such kind of things. It's really like generation gap is really a situation where even in the political system, economic system, and all parts of things that will make a country develop or a continent develop, because of that generation gap in the African continent, is what is like driving the African development backward instead of moving forwards. I think it's really something that really happening, and it's um, one of the backbone of a community in which if it's missing, if the upcoming generations are not guided well by the elders, and that gap of communication and upbringing, it's uh, not going to be upright for the next generation to strive to make the best of themselves and to make the good community or the nation. Likewise, if they are not well upbringed, um, the the challenge they will face in the next generation, which they will be teaching or they will be taking care of, the gap will be expanding and
Your voice has suddenly gone. The audio has suddenly gone. Okay. Okay. Somebody else who can talk about the problem of generation gap in Africa, in African families. So how is the family system in Africa? Are they joint families or nuclear families? Do you have joint family system with all brothers they stay together? Or is there a trend of nuclear families wherein everybody wants to set up their own houses separately? Please raise hands. Jacob. Please go ahead, Jacob.
Hello, am I being heard?
Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying in Africa we have generational gap whereby you see elders speak differently, and also the young ones, they don't listen to what the elders say. So there's a very big communication gap between the two. So besides that, in a family setting, we have nearly two: the extended family and also the nuclear family, whereby in most cases the children or the young ones, they speak differently. Also the elders speak differently. So there's a gap between the two. So I admit what you have said.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Muhammad Ibrahim.
Okay, thank you so much. With regard to the family staying at one place, like the extended family and stuff, I had experienced such kind of things, and it helps in a situation where if the family are in a one place and the elders don't want to break that gap of the generation and wants to make it is something that actually is making the youth in Africa take their own path and adopt the alien. I used to call it alien culture. They adopt other people's culture and disrupt their own culture. And the older generation are not guiding them right in order to adopt their own, in order not to miss it, so that they will fulfill the future and make things right in the common future. That's why today in most of the African countries you find our great grandparents competing in a political seat, while the younger generations are left behind. They are not guided, they are not politically upright, they are not economically buoyant, they are not um, communal upbringings. So I think this is something that is already touching the African lives and the African continent and its development in whatever way. So I think this is just what I have to add in regard to what I recently said. Thank you.
I think, yes, that was a wonderful explanation to, and for all of us, to actually understand the situations in Africa. We would like to take more responses. And also, how do you think, like, along with this question of how exactly the family system is, I would also want your opinions on how this generation gap, did you face, first question, did you face it at some point of your life? How difficult was that situation? And what suggestions you have for people or for yourself, if you're married, that you are not going to do the similar thing with your kid. Okay, so did you face this generation gap while you were growing up? I want to know your opinions. Somebody who hasn't spoken as yet.
Yes. Yeah, can I say something about it?
Mondi, yes.
Okay. According to me, I also grew up in a family whereby we had a very big generation gap. Like we as young children would shy away, would fear to tell our parents some other stuff. And some of our parents were also so tough to us to the extent that whenever you feel like requesting something, you even fear and you keep on missing other things. That is a very big challenge.
Totally agree. Totally agree. So what do you think should be done? How this gap can be reduced? Because in this particular gap, you feel that parents are also not wrong, and the small child also yearning for something or trying to express. So, how this generation gap can be narrowed?
Um, those okay. Those generation gaps can be reduced if maybe they organize some sensitization camps. They talk to the parents the same way they organize and call young children and tell them the dangers and good sides of it and so on. That will be the very big way of ending such.
Mm, yes. Frederick? Frederick Favor?
Yeah. All right. Good everyone.
Go
Can you
ahead.
hear me? All right. So, I think I'll just brief about generation gap. So, a generation gap is about differences in beliefs and our values, attitude, and behaviors between different generations. We have the boomers, we have the zoomers, we have the Gen Zs in different sets of generations. So, it's a common phenomenon that occurs when we have different beliefs and attitudes between older generation and then significantly from the younger ones. So I think to solve the generation gap, there are things that both the younger ones and the older ones have to do, in respect to each other's perspectives. Are you with me?
Well, continue.
All right. So I think one of the first thing that should be done is having an open communication. Actually, um our uncle asked, mom asked if we do experience it. Actually, in my own family, I didn't personally experience generation gap because we used to have an open communication with our parents from a tender age. So everyone
See.
is to let out whatever kind of um thoughts they have within them. So you can only be chastised by each and every one of them and given the right advice, but you're not going to be halted from expressing yourself. So I think families should learn to have open communication. So they should encourage open and honest communication between different generations. So they should be active listening and active listening opportunities, and everyone should try to understand the point of each person. So I also suggest there will be collaboration between the generations. So sometimes if you come to a kind of a community, a gathering of persons, they have to distinct it. All right, such kind of generation is going to be here, such kind of generation is going to be here, so number of age is going to be here. So, but if there's a collaboration between these persons of different ages, then it will help form an alliance with each and every one of them, so they can build mutual respect for each other. So I also suggest intergenerational activities to generation activity, just like it's just a reference to what I just said. So activities that bring different generations together is essential, such as community service projects, for instance, um, like we in the social work field, um, why going for kind of community sensitization? We can mix it up with different generations. We can get some person from the boomer generations, from the Zoomers, from the millennials, some from the Gen Zs, and having such kind of mixture of different ages of presence in kind of recreational activities, cultural events, it will help them break down the stereotypes and build stronger relationship. Are you with
Very
me? Are you with me, everyone? Should I continue? Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
All
Favor.
right, all
Yes,
right,
we
all
can
right.
hear
So
you.
I think I'll just drop one or two left again. So I think one other thing um that should be put in place by families and persons is empathy. Most times as time goes on, as time passes, different kind of effect or activities changes. So the kind of life or lifestyle that is invoked within the 2 decades ago isn't same now. So I think there should be empathy. Each generation should try to understand the challenges and experiences that different generations have been faced. So the generation of our parents aren't that vast with technology, but our generation is vast with technology. That's why we can have virtual education. So if our parents should have any need for technology, we should be able to also understand their challenges and experiences. Similarly to them, they should know that things have changed in our own dispensation. So we are liking or we have kind of lifestyle differently from theirs. So everyone should have empathy, trying to understand the view of each other persons. And then I think technology can also help us with advancing this kind of things, such kind of sharing right information and bridging the gap that bring people together. So in conclusion, I would just say that generation gap can be solved by promoting open communication, um, collaboration, intergenerational activities, empathy, and utilizing technology that can connect people of different generations. So we all can build a stronger relationship and create a more inclusive and understanding society. So that's all I have to say.
Oh, wonderful. You've dropped in some very, very important words of conversation, communication, collaboration, inclusiveness, technology update. Wonderful. Trevor, can we see your face? As in, you haven't put your video on.
Yeah, I'm actually you know not well versed how to include my image in my picture. I will do that tomorrow class. Yeah, I'm not that very
I wish the audio could be a little more clear because I could not even hear 30% of what you said very clearly.
wow,
So
wow, wow, wow.
I could only hear some keywords which you were saying. I just picked those up, But it was
Uh,
a great lesson you spoke, and you spoke very well, and you spoke very pointedly and very good. So that's the kind of interaction that I, as a counselor, expect to happen in the class. Okay.
uh,
Now, in the remaining four classes, it should be like I should be telling you some topics and words, and you should come up, and interact with each other, you know. And I will only come in wherever I think, now my intervention is required. So that's a kind of understanding of your own communication skills, understanding of your own personality, which is going to give you strength to build up your language skills. Okay, so you need to know yourself, through various different kind of platforms in the day-to-day living where you feel English is required. So here is a practicing platform for you with me, advising you. I'll handhold you wherever it is needed. Okay. We'll take up topics, we'll discuss here, we'll talk about it, we'll feel more comfortable. Okay. Now, Favor has spoken about all this on generation gap. Now, if now on a social setting, in a social small talk, or in a classroom, he'll be more comfortable now because he's practiced it here. He would be in a position to now revisit his own some lacunae which he thinks it might have. Ask the teacher also, mentor also, tell me, suggest me, okay, how to go about, how to improve my this thing. So that's the kind of thing we're looking forward to. Okay, here, practicing, interacting more and more, talking about it, talking which you fear or which you are nervous while, or you're lethargic that you're not doing it with yourself, you are nervous doing it with your friend, but you can do it here. It's not a classroom. Okay, it's actually a get together of all the like-minded people who want to develop their personality, develop their language skills, practice, be comfortable, try to explore the vocabularies as much as possible. So here is the platform for you. That's a kind of a counseling, that is going to happen. Okay, so we have more hands here. I want to take up Kaima.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to add some idea on a generation gap in Africa.
Did you ever face it?
Yes, I just want to add an idea on generation gap in Africa. The main impact of generation gap in Africa, I can say age is a main impact. Is one big reason for the natural gap between generations. However, the major issue arrives due to the mental gap in terms of thinking patterns and current trends. Children believe that they are grown-ups and it is high time for them to be independent. This helps them to gain more self-esteem. So the main issue I can see here that age is a very big impact on a generation gap here in Africa. So to solve this problem, like you said already before, that we must have some conversation, like interactions, small talks, to share some views, ideas, so that we can get rid of this problem. Thank you, madam.
Very good. Very relevant points. Very relevant points. Okay, Mustafa wants to add on something. Abdul Salam? Switch on your audio not audible.
Okay. Sorry, I said that I have network problem. I am trying to fix it.
What did you say? Network issue? Okay. Anybody else wants to add on to something on this generation gap? Did you ever face it at any point of your time? And do you think that it is a serious problem? But how do you express it? Nobody wants to talk about it. Jimmy?
Yes, I think I can give an example of some of us how we have grew up. We have had that situation where we couldn't interact with our parents in a better way because of this generation gap, where at some point you could feel that they were harsh, but in their mind they thought they are raising us to be good people. But it is also very possible to create an environment where you're friendly to kids, and then they still appreciate that if I do this, it's wrong, and if I do this, it's right. And this is happening now with interaction of different cultures, and with technology, we can see a lot of things how best to interact with the kids, because the moment they have trust in us, they can always trust that they get the right support from us. For instance, myself, I think I've grown up in a situation where up to now, I'm still afraid of my grandfather who raised me, but you know, that time was very, very serious and disciplined, but it wasn't a good approach. So even if now I'm grown up, I'm married, I have my own family, but still more when I'm with him, I still have those memories, and it is not so good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very sensible. Stephen, wants to say something? Stephen wants to say something on this generation gap
Madam,
problem.
yes, I wanted to say something, but yes, in Africa, generation gap came in because of culture. Culture was very much disciplined compared to today. Culture in Africa has been a very big problem because most of the times culture gave us the chance not to be together with our parents. There were times even during the funerals, we could not be told that we should not attend because we are still young. We would be told that we should remain isolated because we are still young. Now, that cultural gap brought a lot of problems in terms of generational gap. And the coming in of technology has even worsened the situation, because even if you now, for example, we are learning.
Unstable network, you know, the audio is not clear. Can we take some other response?
So that is a very big problem in Africa, and the culture now is being diluted somehow. That is where now, but in the past it was not easy. Yeah, so just try it anyway. Yeah, I'll just try it. Thank you.
Thank you. Nuruddin? Nuruddin wants to say.
Yeah, I have something to say. Generation gap in Africa, though particularly in Nigeria, we have so many problems that we are facing now because at that before the family that are setting together with their younger ones, they are not facing any problem. Unlike today, the technology that give us so many crises that we are facing now. Especially if you see any family, you can see them, they are not together with their children. The family, once the children grow up above 18, they just leave their house. That issue is always rising up, although because of the xenocentrism that we are practicing now, unlike before that we are using ethnocentrism. Thank you.
Thank you. Jacob wants to say something? You're not audible.
Yeah, thank you. Still in Africa, where I come from, I can still see generational gap. Why? One, we have experiences. Our elders have different experiences, and the young ones are also having different experiences. So what they had in the past is not rhyming with what our children are having at the moment, or the youth. So if we look into that, we see that they are no longer going together. They are not now moving in the same line. That's why we have generational gap. So they are not really united in the way the parents communicate to the children. And then the second aspect, I talk of technologies. In the past, our parents never had chances of using technology compared to today's society, whereby the young ones are able to use technology. So whatever, they don't know the good and the danger of that technology. So we see that there's also an aspect of generational gap there. And also what I would like to talk about is the environment. The environment where we are, it's quite different from the environment that our parents were in. So if you're to see those two and you compare it, you see that that is also one of the factors that is really causing generational gap. And also our culture. In the past, our parents used to tell us that our parents used to choose for their children a person to marry in the past. But at the moment, these young children are no longer in line. They are not really compatible with what our parents told us. Now, you see that the youth of today, they want to explore and get the person who is compatible with. And now we see it as a generational gap. So what can be done? I suggest community dialogue should be done within a society where we come from. That is one. And if possible, we have youth who are undergoing education, who are still students, and these youth, we can have a seminar or a community dialogue to at least eradicate these issues. And the last one that I can talk of, we should be made about the dangers of whatever we do, because some of the parents or some of the ideas brought by our elders are very vital, much as the youth of today are not really in line, they are not supporting. But I also suggest that we should be told about whatever step that we take, the danger and the benefit, so that we reduce on the issues of the generational gap. Thank you.
Very well. Community dialogue, very important word introduced by Jacob in the ongoing discussion. So that's how we can build up the level of our discussions. Okay. Somebody else wants to come in? Some students, they haven't spoken even for once. For example, Zimba. Salisu wants to say something? Prissy?
Hello.
Yes, Salisu, you want to add on to the conversation or the discussion?
No, I don't, I'm just saying, and I did not care what has happened from the beginning. Because I had an issue. That is why I cannot say anything unless I look the previous lesson or say something on what we are discussing on.
Anyway, I couldn't hear anything because of the network issue.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Rebecca? Rebecca wants to say something. Chrissy? Chrissy haven't spoken even for once. See, these classes are about you. The more you interact, the more you talk, the more you would know where you want to take your proficiency levels to. By listening to one-side lectures will not add anything to your already resource that you have or the repository of language skills that you have. Okay, tomorrow onwards, you have to take on the interaction in the classes. Okay, and please sit with your paper and pen. Tomorrow onwards, there will be a lot of activities and exercises that will be asking you to do. Okay, so there will be comprehension exercise. I'll just kind of put the comprehension on a PPT. You need to jot down the comprehension, read the comprehension, take its image or do whatever, and then I will be asking you to write answers to the questions, and then we'll be discussing those answers in the classes. So activities like this. So you will have to sit with your pen and paper tomorrow. Yeah, we can take up 1 or 2 responses and then we'll close with the class for today.
Hello.
Yes, Kaima, we can.
Yeah, I just want to sum up all the facts that are mentioned before, because I was very attentive listening each and every fact that were given by my fellow students. What I observe is in all conversation concerning generation gap in Africa, the main issue is lack of knowledge sharing between generations. All the facts are going to this point that the lack of knowledge sharing between in generations, or else resistance to change. That is why there is a gap here in Africa concerning generation. So these areas are the most contributing factors on generation gap. Thank you. I was just want to add up on that point, that the main issue of generation gap here is lack of knowledge sharing and resistance to change. These areas are the most contributing factors. Thank you, madam.
So last 5 minutes of the class, any problem that you students are facing, last 5 minutes of the class, we can take these kind of things, any problems with the, please first of all download the from IGNOU BEGLA135 content. Okay, do that, and if possible go through block 1, greetings and goodbye. Sit with your pen and paper tomorrow and keep a dedicated notebook or a diary for this particular course, wherein you have to make your own account of how many different kind of beautiful sentences you have learned, how many vocabularies you've added, how many new terms of grammar you've learned, okay, all these things. You have to keep your own calculation for it. So keep a dedicated notebook. Tomorrow onwards, it's going to be the pen and paper and interaction and no lecturing. Okay. and keep a dictionary or whatever you have, wherein I'll be asking you to find some difficult words, okay, and build up on your vocabulary. So these are the few things which I think you already know, but you don't have the time enough or you don't have the mentoring enough. Now that we have, and also like-minded people and students that you find yourself to be part of. So not that you won't have been able to do it alone, but now since the entire environment is more inspiring because you have students with you wherein you can speak and talk and feel comfortable. So I think it's more about the environment, that you should make use of. Otherwise, we are here for the counseling and mentoring. The task is yours. You have to build yourself up. You have to build your confidence up. So, more you interact, the more useful will be the classes. As simple as that. If you want to make use of the classes, you have to be interactive. You have to keep making notes of the different words that you would learn, henceforth through the blocks, different kind of sentences. Any friend has spoken something nice, just make a noting of it. Keep your pen and paper ready. Note making has to be done. Okay, that's your hard work. Oh, great. Kaima already has one at the right place. Okay. So anything else, students? Okay, the iCard thing was already listened to by the director, and I think the needful would be done. Apart from this, any other query regarding my particular block? Or any suggestion, any query? Thank you, Felicia. You too have a nice day.
Thank you so much as well. You also have a nice evening there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma. Thank you very much.
Any problem?
Thank you.
Somebody has a question. Forward, do you have a question? I'm sorry, it is favor or forward. Thank you, Ibrahim. I think Forward had a question. Felicia also has a problem. Please share.
Ma, before you conclude, Ma, I have one second question.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Ma, I have a question.
Who has a question? Raise your hand. Who has a question?
I said I have one second question, Ma. Ma, regarding to the previous of this lesson, you made mention about the positive feeling and the negative feeling. So, what are the difference between negative feeling and the positive feeling? That's only my question.
Oh, that's a very, so you are going to find it out for yourself once we start with the block. That choosing the right word for the right occasion would be obviously generating a positive feeling. Choosing a wrong word for the right occasion will be generating a negative feeling. So being very sensitive to, you have a kitty of words with you, basket of words, you have to be careful as in which word you need to pick up, depending upon the occasion, depending upon the person you're talking to. Okay, and thereby the feelings ensues from that. If you have a positive pickup, it's a positive setup. If you pick up a wrong word, everything turns very negative. Very simple. Okay, but yes, what we need to work on is what are these positive words? What are these negative words? That is something that we should know in our vocabulary. And that is something we look forward to when we go through the block. All right, then, students. Anything else? Last 1 minute, any question, anything which I can take up before I close the class?
Okay, thank you very much, sir. God bless Nigeria, God bless India.
God bless Africa also. It's nice to see Grace. It's nice to see Rehema on screen and they smile. Good. Keep smiling. Okay. And all right. Stephen, I think, reads a lot. He has this big library at its, he's flaunting his library behind his chair. All right. So see you tomorrow then. Okay.
I do read a lot.
Tomorrow,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, madam. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Bye-bye. Guys, we can have our own conversations in the WhatsApp group.
Hello, thank you very much.
We can put down our questions and concerns in the WhatsApp group, then we digest it together.
Guys, bye-bye.
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 Meet in the group.
Bye-bye, guys.
Whatever, Francis, Abdul Salam, Ahmad, and
Salam is very
Problem,
crazy.
some of us have the problem, most of us have, when we are speaking, maybe we have got radios underground, they're playing songs. What if we mute them? What if we
is someone talking to me?
That's not good. When we switch off the concern, what if our radios whenever we
Yes.
Yes, speak English, please don't speak foreign language.
Is someone mention my name?
Yes, Abdul Salam. I think
Please
you're very
speak
crazy.
language.
Did someone mention my name?
Okay, what I was trying to say was we should try to behave and we should try to switch off our radios if they are playing underground. Most of the time they are confusing us a lot.
Yeah. That's true.
And Abdul Salam, stop eating while you're studying, okay? Abdul Salam, I don't know you brought.
Yes, Abdul Salam.
That's true. You're on your video, but you are running while you are eating.
You're crazy, man.
Abdul Salam, I have issues with you. I'll come Kaduna and deal with you.
I wanted to come to eat with you.
He has left.
He left.
And you,
Rama,
you were running while you're on the phone. I saw you.